All right, so 5.4, we've got 2 lessons this week, just 5.4 and 5.5. It's very important that you definitely pay attention on this lesson because it's a review of everything we did in terms of order of operations last quarter. So what we're covering is about 3 days worth of material in one, and that's only because at this point, if you did at least a little bit of what you're supposed to do, you should at least have an idea. And if not, you're just going to have to kick in and make sure you get it. But after today, we're going to add 2 more steps to our understanding. This lesson is important because it's going to be used to bring back to your memory. So first thing we did with PEMDAS, which is your order of operations, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, is we focused on addition, subtraction, which is the lowest level. We learned that the order of operations from the ground up, and during that process we discussed the fact that addition and subtraction are like students in a lunch line, and because of that they are all equal in rank, and so you feed the students, as we say, in order. And so you can't just look at this and say, I want to add 4 plus 2, I want to add 5 plus 1, because if all of these are students in a lunch line, the first student in line gets fed. 9 minus 4 is 5, and then you have to work on your rewriting of everything else. So again, the plus 2 minus 5 plus 1 has to be rewritten. And again, all students in line, feed the first one. 5 plus 2 turns into 7, and then rewrite everything else. And then feed the first student in line. 7 minus 5 turns into 2, and then 2 plus 1 turns into 3, and that is your answer. And just to prove it to you, here's your calculator that you can always check your answer on, but you're going to have to make sure that you hold on, sorry. Actually, I can get that back. 9 minus 4 plus 2 minus 5. There we go. But either way, what you can do in terms of your work is you can type in the problem and make sure you match that answer, because if you don't match that answer, it means you probably have made a mistake, and I don't mind you doing that. That's just called being smart about your points. But just as I said, you've got to make sure you work on actually remembering that if it's just addition and subtraction, which is the low level, you go front to back. That was the first thing we learned. After that, we went to multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So the next day we extended our idea to include multiplication and division, and there we compared multiplication and division to teachers in a lunch line. Again, teachers were also fed depending on who's in front. So when you look at that, that's a student, a teacher. Remember, that's not a parentheses, that's 4 times 2, which is a multiplication, minus 7. And yes, I know we think parentheses, but the first operation that is on higher level, which is multiplication, division, is that one. And so when you rewrite it, you put the 4 in the plus, you turn 8 divided by 4 into 2, and you copy everything else as it is. You then look and recognize there's another multiplication, so copy your 4 and your plus, turn 2 times 2 into 4, copy your minus 7. You now do 4 plus 4 because it's just addition and subtraction, getting 8 minus 7 to be 1. And again, I can check my answer by simply typing in 4 plus 8 divided by 4, parentheses 2, close, minus 7 equals, to see that I get the answer of 1 as long as what I have in my calculator matches what's on my paper. So again, with multiplication, division, what we learned is that before we do any kind of addition or subtraction, take care of what we said, all the teachers in line first, front to back, then you feed all your students front to back. After that, we ended the experience last quarter with exponents, and we extended it to consider that exponents are like administrators, where teachers can cut in front of students, administrators can cut in front of teachers. But the key thing I said was that if you see any small floating numbers, as we see here, that you should take care of them first. And so what we're going to do here is 3 to the second. And remember that 3 to the second means 3 multiplied twice. Not 3 times 2, but 3 multiplied twice, which makes 9. And so you have to kind of take your time there. And if you don't know that, then put 3 to the second in your calculator, or 3 caret 2 in your calculator, to make sure you see that's 9. But again, copy everything else. So there's your 2. Turn this into parentheses 9 because it still is in parentheses, and then go from there. Just make sure you're copying effectively. Plus 4 divided by 4 times 2. Now again, we're looking for the first teacher in line, which is this multiplication. Remember, that means multiplication. So 20 minus 22 times 9 is 18, and then copy everything else as it is. We're again looking for the first teacher. No, no, yes. There it is. So 20 minus 18 plus 4 divided by 4 is 1, parentheses 2. Again, looking for the first teacher. 1 times 2 is it. So 20 minus 18 plus 2. Now we don't have any more teachers, so we feed the first student and feed the first student, which is 4. And again, your proof, which is why I like to teach you to do this stuff, plus 4 divided by 4, parentheses 2, close, equals. There's my answer, and it matches what I have. So it tells me that I'm on the right track. And again, if I don't get that answer and I'm in class, then I would just call over the teacher and make sure that I try to figure out what I did wrong or where I might have made a mistake. My opinion on order of operations is, as long as you're trying to learn the order of operations, for the most part, everything is going to take care of itself. But because most people don't like it, they typically choose not to try it, and they just kind of wait for it to go away, but it's never going to go away. So just be careful. Expand. 4 to the 5th means 4 5 times. Remember that 5 says multiply 4 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, which now you can say 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 equals, or as we've gone over, just type in 4 caret 5 to get your answer. The key thing is, I need you to understand that that's what it is. I don't care so much about the fact that you might use that calculator to get the answer of 1024, but I do need you to expand it, because if you don't expand it, and by the way, when you expand that, we did make you put that in parentheses. So that was that. Outside of that, let's look at this other stuff. Again, the first thing we want to look for is any floating numbers, which there aren't any. Now we want to look for any teachers, and really the first teacher in line. So ask yourself, is that a teacher? No. Is that a teacher? Yes. So feed it. 9 plus 3 times 4 is 12, and then copy everything else. Teacher? No, no, yes. So feed it. 9 plus 12 minus 2. You then will go no more teachers, so first student in line is 21. 21 minus 2 is 19. That's going to be your answer. Now keep in mind, on your Math Excel, you have to show all of these steps. Each one of these lines has to be written for you to get credit, and so that's where things get tough. Again, all you have to do is ask yourself, first off, are there any floating numbers, small floating numbers? No. Well, now say teacher. No. Teacher. Yes. There it is. So 11 minus 10 divided by 10 is 1 times 2 plus 7. If you don't know what 10 divided by 10 is, use your calculator to do it and then put that number in its place. Teacher. No. A. There's multiplication. There's a teacher. So 11 minus 2 plus 7. No more teacher, so feed the first student and feed the first student, which makes 16. But that's what we're looking at doing, is trying to make sure we get that down. And then we have evaluate. Again, the first thing I notice is this number. So 3 to the 5th, I don't mind you taking your calculator. Sorry about that. I don't mind you taking your calculator doing 3 to the 5th, as long as you understand that it's not 3 times 5. So that becomes 243, which means we put 4 times 243 plus 2. Now we have to feed the first teacher. 4 times 243. Again, feel free to type it in. I don't mind that, but you have to show your steps. That's 972 plus 2, which is 974, which should be your answer. All right. So the key to success in this portion of work is learning to do one operation at a time. You'll need to show discipline in your decisions and your ability to rewrite what's left. The best advice, again, is make one decision on which operation to make first. Rewrite it, and then just repeat again. It's just one decision at a time. Don't try to look ahead. Don't try to anticipate. Don't try to, think what the answer is going to be. Just do your one step at a time until you get to the answer. So, to me, it's kind of like a puzzle. You can't, think about what the puzzles or what the picture is going to look like, or worry about what the picture is going to look like, when all you can really do is attach one piece, 2 pieces, 3 pieces, and work your way there. Nobody's ever put a puzzle together by connecting all the pieces at once. It takes time, so be ready to take your time on that. But again, don't be distracted by anything that's not in your operation. So again, good luck. I'll talk to you later.